wondering why not every CFL preseason game is on TV for our viewing pleasures. You got the goods on it. Why is that?
Well, I think part of it is money. And so each game that TSN broadcasts costs about $100,000 to put on. And so traditionally, the viewership hasn't necessarily been there to justify that kind of expenditure. The other thing is TSN has also had playoff hockey at this time of year. So, the playoffs obviously a big draw for TSN. Now that contract is largely with Rogers, that's not as much of a concern. However, TSN also has the Euro Cup on right now, so programming also plays a role as well. That said, I think TSN maybe has to take a look at this because the numbers for these initial preseason games have been pretty good. The Winnipeg game with Montreal did about 350,000, 338,000, somewhere in that range. And the Rider game on the weekend did over 500,000. Those are big numbers. Like, that's better than the vast majority of Raptor regular season games. So if TSN is going to get those kind of numbers, then they're going to have to consider potentially doing more of these games and seeing if there is some interest from advertisers to support that level of commitment.
Now let's go back to the game that was on TV on the weekend, Drew, that was interrupted by quite an unusual situation. I think it shows the strength of Rider fans. Not many of them left during the power outage. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
Well, I mean, CFL games have been delayed for all kinds of reasons over the years. Lightning, storms. I mean, this is football in Canada, so things go wrong and games get delayed. But the fact that the game was delayed by confetti shot at power lines, just that is an unusual one for me. It feels like the most Saskatchewan thing ever in some respects. Not in a bad way, but the fact that, a game could get delayed by a confetti streamer is just, it seems like the foundation of our society is tenuous if that's the case, right? That you could take the power out in a giant stadium. The plus side, Justin, is that I learned some things about Saskatchewan that I didn't know. So, for example, that the Premier Brad Wall on his Twitter said that the power outage was caused by jackwagons. And I was like, what the heck is a jackwagon? And then Jamie Nye, who's one of our friends out in Saskatchewan, said it's a Saskatchewan thing, much like a bunny hug. And I'm like, what's a bunny hug? And he said it's kind of like a hoodie. So, for the purposes of this video, I am a jackwagon and a bunny hug.
Which means you're an idiot. But one thing we did learn is be careful where you point or shoot your confetti.
Wow. Remember, we're a family show. That's a very jackwagon comment, actually.